Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sea of Souls, our live stream Dungeons and Dragons campaign brought to you by the Elder Brain. We are the Elder Brain, -1. Jack is not with us again tonight because he has job. He is job.
Not to imply that the rest of us don't have job, though.
That's true.
Speak for yourself.
But his job is doing. He has the work of this evening, so Torque will be taking care of some stuff.
He's come down with a bad case of needing to make rent.
Yeah, moneyitis. It's
Horrible affliction.
Yeah.
Say there's no cure.
It's really death. It's pretty much.
I was gonna say there's one cure.
It's not anyway.
Cure, yes.
Let's move away from reality and into a game where people have money and
we do,
and you get 8 hours of sleep and 8 hours of sleep as well.
Yes.
Fantasy folks.
Fabulously wealthy.
That's true. But we are kicking off episode 77.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Working our way up. Up the order here towards 100. Eventually, we'll get there. But if you haven't done the follows and the likes and the subscribes, do all that stuff. Subscribe on Twitch, and you can get some fun perks live stream that you can make use of, and that's just a good way to help us out. It helps support us, tells us that you like what we're doing, and also down the road, it's going to help us with some expenses, even just Zoom and the various subscriptions and things that we do in order to bring this to you. The support helps us. So thank you to all of those of you who do support us. And if you're not yet, come on. We're awesome. Well, some of us are. The rest of these guys are. And children are awesome. There's a little face peeking in. Do the likes and all that stuff. We'd really appreciate it. So, episode 77. Kicking off with a brief recap of last time on Dungeons and Dragons. In the Forbidden Archives beneath the Museum of Antiquities in Valenhold, you encountered an ancient entity from the void, the Prime Caclian. A being of immense mental prowess and psychic capabilities, who seems to be the true power behind the museum, his existence a secret even to those whom he works with, aka puppets, controls. Despite the lack of moral considerations and immense power, the Prime despises violence. And even though you got into a bit of a tough tussle, tense couple moments, it prefers to use other means to solve its problems other than violence, and you were able to bargain and barter a little bit of information exchange, and that you gain information and that you keep some information private, secret.
Expert persuasion.
Yes. So you struck a deal with the Prime, agreeing to keep its existence a secret and to let it continue its work in the archives, that of collecting and using information of all kinds for its different purposes. And in exchange, the Prime told you how to defeat Triskades, to give the Desolation more of what it desires than it can handle. Doing so would bring it to the same fate as the other 12 of its kind who died during the breaking of Eudora at the end of the First Age. Now, how to go about all of that remains to be seen. He didn't exactly tell you the specific details of do this here, get this MacGuffin, insert this, perform said ritual. It was more just here's how you can do it. In parting, the Prime also gave Dinar a mote of chaotic energy, which he asked that you give to Triskades when you see him, as there appears to be no love lost between the two. The mote infused itself into your skin and now appears on your hands and wrists as a dark purple vein-like tendrils just kind of there, just below the surface. I apologize for barking dogs. Pretend they're in the street of the city somewhere. Leaving the museum, the guards appeared not to recognize any of you, a clear sign of the Prime's control over both the facility and its faculty. And so you step out into a darkening evening sky just as a storm rolls in off the bay to blanket Valenhold in thick clouds and drenching rain. Serena, who was with you, is a little bit unsettled by your encounter and suggests heading back to the last post lodge for the evening to regroup. A moment later, Dinar, you feel the magical touch of a scrying spell. It could be Jorand looking in on you, just as you asked him to do, or it could be somebody else. And so as you feel the scry, you feel that kind of tingle of somebody using arcane means to look in on your situation. Are you willing to let it happen, or?
So Jordan hasn't already scryed on me. I haven't felt that. Right?
Correct. You had asked him, and then it's been a few moments. You're leaving now, and now this is the first time you're feeling that familiar kind of tingle, somebody looking in.
Okay, then I will allow it.
Okay.
I'll wait a few moments. I'm sure he's got great experience with this spell, but just a few moments for him to get adjusted. And then I will say out loud, because then he can hear it, but not like declaratively to an entire crowd, just as if speaking one-on-one.
You can mutter it, basically, and it'll be enough, yep.
Thanks for checking in on us. The thing that I needed you to see is no longer a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. There's nothing else to say, really.
What a bloody waste of my time and energy.
A moment later, you feel the connection dissipate.
As soon as it dissipates, Dinar will be like, crap, I should have apologized.
All right. So you currently find yourselves outside of the Museum of Antiquities in the Gallery District of Valenhold. It is evening, and rain is starting to come down. The clouds have rolled in. You can actually see a few flashes of lightning off in the distance. It looks like it's going to be a wet and stormy night.
But will it be a dark and stormy night?
I mean, could be.
When it's nighttime, probably, but thematically.
The night was as dark as nighttime. And stormy like a thunderstorm. Rain was as wet as water.
Very evocative language there.
It was
I'm in the moment, man.
It was a non-lit and storm-like evening.
So,
I see new decorations on the map. Are we supposed to be seeing those?
I see them as well.
Yep. So, all I've done is mark the locations that you have been with the sort of orange tokens there, fiery tokens, or at least some of you have been. The red circles indicate sort of pending locations. So the one obviously with the tokens, you guys, that's the Last Post Lodge. And there's a few other things of your needing to attend to items such as the infirmary at the Wave Song Temple, the artificer up in the shipyards, that's Serena's contact, who has a way to help you in your fight against Triskades. And then the smaller one would be the Temple of Verithan, which
that's for me.
Dinar was potentially going to scout out. The one here is the market where you've been to purchase some things. This is the Gungram Navy Embassy, the tower by Lake Odai, under which you performed your ritual, and of course the Museum of Antiquities, where you are currently. So, Yes.
So it's not like super late evening yet, though. It's just kind of.
No. It's darker than it would be, just because of the storm coming in. But you're probably looking at like dinner time, just approaching dinner time.
Well, we should be getting something to eat then. Can't drink on an empty stomach. Well, you can.
Shouldn't drink on an empty stomach.
Yeah, Flick gives you a look like, since when?
Serena pipes in and says, there is plenty of food back at the lodge, both courtesy of Jorand and the supplies we have there. But if you prefer to find something on the way, there's lots of street vendors in the arena district. There's always something to find there. Sure, depending on what sort of fare you're looking for, you could head to the Galadriel Promenade. Has lots of restaurants and taverns and stuff lining the causeway. I mean, really, there's lots of places to eat in the city. It really depends on what you want, but
Well, I'm not super picky. Although I will say, if you like fish, good.
I mean, Taylind, you obviously know some places
Yeah.
as well. You probably know some different places than Serena does.
I was gonna say I am still technically trying to relatively lay low, because I am also apparently unconscious in the hospital. So.
Oh yeah,
What?
forgot about that.
Yeah, the not me.
The faux
Which-
Taylind.
or the real you.
I was going to say,
Ooh.
one of them is a copy.
Nah. I'm as real as they come. Speaking of which, are our seeming spells still active? I would imagine so, right?
24 hours, right?
Because they last
Seeming?
for
8
I
hours?
Thought it
like
was
8 hours or something, right?
In which case, you guys would have done everything you did. Let me check.
If it's 8
8
hours,
hours.
then no. Then no.
8 hours. So you
It would
guys
have
did the
dropped.
library quest without
Okay.
seeming.
Do you have any more seeming spells in you?
I could upcast it to 7th level.
Oh man.
I mean, you could just pull your hat low, and I could disguise self if we really are in a pinch here.
Well, all that
No, why don't we
means is
do
that
that?
we should go somewhere that isn't the place I would get recognized. At least not until we figured out what's going on. We're gonna have to look into that at some point. Because since we're here, there's a certain bar I want to take you to, Flick. I think you'll really like it. They filter all of their ale through. You know how you can get like those filter systems for air supply systems.
Yeah.
So to save money, they use the same filter for the air purifier as they do for all the drinks.
So wait, does the booze taste like seawater, or does the place smell like booze? Or
Yes.
both. Oh, that's kind of neat.
In fact, everything has like this hint of
Interesting.
salt that you can't get rid of. It's pretty great.
Huh.
That sounds delightful.
It's wonderful.
I'm in.
But we'll need to figure out what's going on with the other me, because they'll immediately recognize me in there, and we might start a scene.
Okay, so I think the orders of business are a little bit of rack time, and then we go sort out the double Taylind issue.
Yeah, I mean, I'm exhausted. I definitely am not up for a trek across the town at this point. That last fight really took a lot out of me.
And me.
Fresh as a daisy, but I'll look after you, you little livers. Let's go.
As I mentioned, there is plenty of food and drink as well.
Yeah,
at
I
the,
think-
the Last Post Lodge. So
I think that's the plan. I think that's the best plan.
Yeah.
very good. All right. So you did cast Seeming, Dinar?
No.
Do we have to? Yeah, it depends on how
Okay.
much of a walk we're gonna be up against. Because if it's not that far off from here, then I don't think it's necessary. But if we're gonna have to go through the city, we're gonna have to figure something out.
So you are going to have to go through the city.
Yeah, because
And
we're way the heck down here right now, right?
Let me
Yeah.
draw this out for you. Let's make it red. Basically, trying to find kind of the shortest route. Mission on red, but that's roughly the route you're looking at. You got to go up through the Guilds District, the Arena District, the Fortune District, out through the double gate into Feldtown, and then now because it is raining, the streets aren't as busy as they necessarily would be.
And everybody's kind of got the hoods up and
people, yes. So yeah, hoods up won't be suspicious because most people have some sort of cover right now or ducking in and out of buildings to avoid the rain. It's not like a total downpour, but it's a solid enough rain that it's not the kind of, we can go for a stroll in this. Most people are attempting to avoid it if at all possible, which actually works a bit to your advantage at the moment. So you do have that going for you.
Oh, well, then I think we'll move through the city, trying not to draw too much attention to ourselves as much as a dragonborn, turtle, goblin, and man can. And yeah, keep the hoods up and try not to make eye contact. And
in that case, I will still just blow disguise self.
I was gonna say, I think just like minor illusion magic is probably worth doing. I using a 7th level slot for seeming is.
Seems a bit overkill.
I don't know if it's that important, but maybe keep that in your back pocket just in case.
Yeah. It's ready to go if we need it.
It's a little bit more visible there. Yellow. Blue. What's the most visible?
I think that light blue is maybe the most visible.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So the Gallery District and Guilds District seem to be fairly quiet, at least, quieting down enough that you're able to kind of pass through. And as you get into the Arena District, even though the rain is coming down, so the main Coliseum, there's not much going on. But the markets in here are still bustling. There seems to be life always going on. And you can hear the cries from, advertisers outside of some of the different venues talking about gambling inside, offering games of chance, things like that. Just shouting it loud for everybody to hear. And it's a very, very lively place. Flick. Actually, I'm going to say both Flick and Taylind because of both of you have pretty decent perception, different kinds of perception, but both of you have heightened senses. We'll call it that. Flick, you catch the sound of, amidst all of the hustle and bustle, quick pitter patter footsteps, kind of back and forth here and there, splashing through the puddles and the cobblestones. Taylind, because you grew up on these streets,
I did.
You know exactly what to look for.
I do.
And you see urchin here, urchin there.
Ah, yes.
And you know exactly what they're up to.
The old trick I used to do. Nice to see things haven't changed. I'll look around, I'll notice the graffiti of the strange S symbol is still there, even though no one knows where it came from. We'll be like, hey, nothing changes.
So you notice a couple younger ones eyeing your group. A little bit of, you see that glint of greed in their eyes of has both hesitancy and that blend of like, do I do it? Should I do it? Do I want to? And also like, I got this. That they're trying to
Yeah,
pick
yeah,
you.
yeah.
And
Do I know any
you've spotted
like
them.
do I know any like gesture or phrase or something I could do to basically say like I see you, I know what you're up to, don't try it in like a way that they like a street way of understanding, or maybe
You want to
like
throw some gang signs at them? Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
like some kind of like sigil that might be like
So
I'm with you, like I'm one of you or something like that.
I would say, based on your upbringing, even though you might not be like
I do have
fully thieves can't fluid.
I do have the
You're
urchin.
totally gonna blow. It's gonna be a "How do you do, fellow teens" situation.
It totally
I do
is,
have
yeah.
the urchin background, so
Yes. So you're not proficient in like full thieves can't, but you know enough of sort of the the language of the street, which uses a lot of similar cant, which the master thieves will kind of pass down through their various rings of operations, right? So those at the bottom learn a few signs here and there. Signs like caution, danger, the signs for picking a mark, safe house, kind of the various kind of key phrases that would be enough to communicate silently on the street. So you could definitely catch their eye and give them something.
cool. While we're on the subject of that, because I do have the urchin background, I do have the city secrets, which lets us travel between two locations twice as fast as we normally
Yes,
do.
you do.
Ooh.
And this is your
Fancy.
hometown.
This is my hometown. I feel like it would apply here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna like flash a little like just kind of like look over like, hey kid, you dropped something.
You see one of them look and go, like nudge the other one, and they just kind of like look at each other, and then one like nods, and they just quickly dart off the other direction and find another mark.
There we go.
Handy to have around sometimes, there, buddy.
I will get you to give me a perception check in the midst of this, though.
Somebody's recognized him.
There. Devin, if you give me a perception check in the midst of all this, even still. Devin?
Yeah, I'm on there.
Oh, sorry. Just didn't know if you heard me or not.
No, it's just taking a second to load up.
Doing dad things.
This is using my eyes, right?
Yeah. Stop paying attention to kids and pay attention to the game. Come on.
Cool.
Well.
23. Wow, I rolled pretty low.
Okay. As you're turning back to the group, standing off to the side in one of the markets where there's a lot of market stalls around, hidden enough that your average passerby would not recognize them, but you know the spots to look. And as you kind of your subconscious, you're not even actively looking, but just those instincts of yours pick up a cloaked figure just leaning up against sort of the back side of the corner of a stall. And as your eyes pass over, you see a head kind of tilt, look at the kids run by, look back at you, and then just back up into the shadows.
Is there any, I have no way to like recognize. Can I make like an insight check maybe to see like?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
'Cause I've seen them do it, but did I ascertain what they might have been up to? 25. Wow,
Bigger.
that was a good roll.
The individual, the gauging the body language and the looking at the kids, whatever, you gather that this individual caught your signals, caught the exchange, and is wondering who you are and why you know these signs,
The
why
special
you know
secret sign.
how to communicate and how you spotted them. Clearly that you are somebody familiar with things, and there seem to be, if not necessarily an identifying like you as an individual, identifying that you are a curiosity, somebody connected to this, and their curiosity is now raised.
I'm gonna have a meeting with somebody from a guild very shortly, I imagine. Hello, I represent the guild. Which guild? You know, the guild.
But it was definitely a look of like, oh, who are you? Who knows our ways?
I'm just an adventurer. Yep. I'm a humble mercenary. A sellsword who's a swell sword.
Me?
A swell sellsword.
You're a swell sword, a sellsword?
Yeah. A swell sword, if you will.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna keep an eye out then, just kind of like darting around. I don't know how well I can do that while also, I assume in order to use my background feature, I'd be leading the party, being like, cut through this way, jump over this guy's backyard. This is old Abraham. He doesn't mind.
Yes. Yeah.
So like as best as I can while leading the party through the back alleys, so and quick thoroughfares, so we're not walking around in the plain streets, and we get in there faster. I want to kind of keep an eye out because assuming those are where we're most likely to encounter urchins and the pickpockets and representatives of sort of the underworld. So,
that's the danger, is that you know all the shortcuts, but you also know what thrives in those shortcuts, in those dark alleys.
The deepest, darkest back alleys are the great ways to get across town and the great places to get shivved. It's weird.
Yeah. But I'd say because of your familiarity, because you know, your instincts are coming back full to you now. It's been a while since you've been here. But even just being in the alleys and being surrounded by this and having seen the pickpockets, you're starting to pick up, you know, all those signs, you know, like somebody's around this corner. I just know they're going to be here, time of night, time of day, you know, and so you start to just kind of weave. The rest of you watch as there's a bit of a shift in Taylind, in his mannerisms and even the way he carries himself, the way he walks. I'd say, if I may, there's almost a change from that, you know, that kind of Taylind who is the bard who holds himself high, and it's more this like very darting, mysterious, like just his posture changes. Everything about him has become something more nocturnal, more
a little less swagger, a little more cloak and dagger.
Like
exactly,
yeah, like you know, like a second level bard who hasn't gone to college yet.
Yeah. And it just takes him over, and you just see him just this way. He just like beelines, gets you through the city in it's quite impressive actually, but it's probably a side of Taylind that you haven't seen that's starting to come through.
Devin, is Taylind going to tip the rest of us off about potential tales and stuff?
I think I would want to keep you guys abreast of that. Yeah.
Okay, because if you're leading, then I can at least bring up the rear and keep an eye on for tales.
Oh, let's go, boys.
So in that sense, I will get you to give me a perception check as well. If you want to use your fancy ears for that, then I'd say that fits actually.
Perception with advantage.
So you can have advantage on this.
How's a 24 work?
Okay. So not knowing exactly what to look for, but being alert that, you know, you could possibly be being tailed. You're listening to every sound. You're hearing every back alley cat fight. You're hearing every clink, you know, of coins in a cup, every whispered conversation that, you know, drifts up a sewer grate or, you know, through some battered boards on a abandoned building. And as you go through, as you approach the Fortune District, as a Taylind, you know, the Fortune District is where a lot of the money houses are. You know, lots of business administration kind of stuff happens here. It's not necessarily where all the money is kept, but it's where a lot of the business is taken care of.
This is where you find the best marks. I mean,
Markets.
That's right.
This is also where, you know, the waterworks facilities are that have sort of the main entrances down into the sewers and a lot of that stuff. So this is sort of the business
best shortcuts.
Yeah, this is like the business hub of the city, if you will. And as you're entering into this district, Flick, you just catch. Again, it's not like a pitter patter, but it's more. I'd say you're familiar enough with the running and hiding life and the keeping to the shadows that you just pick up the sound of a foot sliding in a puddle, and just the displacement of water as you hear a foot attempting not to be heard. So it's not the stepping, but more of a foot slide, and you just hear that
The stealthy shuffle.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's more just a displacement of water. So you guys are probably right about.
Okay.
I will sort of lean forward and say, I think we still got a tail there, buddy.
Well,
You want me to try and shake him?
there ain't never been anyone who could actually keep up with me once we got going. Hey, Captain,
Yeah.
how familiar are you with the art of parkour?
Is that a region in the north?
Would parkour be acrobatics or athletics?
Yes.
Acrobatics, right?
Super acrobat.
either or. It really depends on what.
Because Dinar is trained in athletics, he's not trained in acrobatics, so that's going to change his answer.
Oh, see, you understand the theory, but not necessarily the application.
Yeah, I've seen people jumping from one place to another, but never really tried it myself. Why?
Well,
Super fun.
see if you can keep up then. And I think I'm just gonna do like a blue streak style, like we're gonna lose them in the city.
Okay.
Good old fashioned city chase.
How serious is this?
It'd be like in a Hot Fuzz where me and Flick just start leaping over hedges, and then Dinar just it's like
Is it
tears his groin and barrels through it.
so? Is it still the four of us? Is Torque still with us?
Yes, and Serena.
And Serena. What is Serena,
Serena
doing?
can keep up.
Yeah, what is
Serena
Serena
can
doing
cover.
through all of this? I'm curious.
Oh, she seems very distracted. So I mentioned like she's very disturbed by what is going on, and she's keeping her eyes around and things, but there's something bugging her. Like she's just kind of like you can almost see her lips like muttering to herself, like something has really put her off.
Okay.
Torque can just walk through all the walls.
Well, so
Kool-Aid Man, the way straight there.
if we're trying to get away from people, though,
Just dimension door.
no, that might be too suspicious. So what Dinar's going to do instead? Dinar's going to put his hand up on Torque's shoulder. I guess we're almost eye to eye.
Oh yeah.
Hey, buddy. We need to go leaping and abounding quietly. So I'm going to have to make you real small. Is that okay?
I suppose if that is the best course of action in the moment, we will do what must be done for the
Cool.
party.
Cool. This is going to feel weird, but just stay on my shoulder, okay?
Very well, Captain.
Dinar will cast Polymorph on Torque. And let's turn him into something that can hold on for dear life.
A marmoset.
I don't know, some kind of lizard.
Meerkat.
A
I was
meerkat.
thinking squirrel would be just fine. But
You know what? Let's do squirrel. So
A hamster.
I will pull out my caterpillar cocoon and cast Polymorph and turn Torque into a squirrel. We'll pick him up off the ground, put him on my shoulder. All right, buddy, hold on. This might get weird. And then Dinar
it'll get weird.
will start chasing after the others as gracefully as he thinks he can.
So let's go, boys. We're over and under.
Okay.
We'll roll through like thunder to go back to home.
I'll say maybe Dinar reaches back and grabs Serena by the hand and just kind of nods. Like,
Okay.
we gotta go.
I don't think
Yeah,
she
her
needs help.
Her instincts kick in at that point. Like she's aware of the danger, but she just see like she's not taking initiative and taking lead and like, okay, I got this, right? But as soon as things kind of settle in, she's like, okay, yeah, and then she's keeping up the party. Her natural instincts kick in as well.
So the one thing that I will do as we are about to cut hard, I will minor illusion the sound of approaching guards, so heavy armor stomping up a nearby alley towards where we're leaving from.
Stop!
Ooh.
You violated the law. For a couple of
Something along those lines, just to give ourselves a good getaway point.
Old sneak thief.
Yes.
What is it? Dragons?
There's someone prowling around here. I mean, I got
Spin the wind.
thaumaturgy. I'm gonna
Must
use.
be the wind.
I'm gonna as I'm parkouring my way through here. I'm gonna manipulate the water in the air to sort of apply pressure to different window shades and windows and lattices and doors, and start opening doors and closing doors like left, right, and center as I'm kind of going through to help either propel me forward or to block the passage that I'm using or to hide line of sight, and just kind of using that as a way to kind of manipulate my way through the streets.
Okay.
And I might also use it to like make my voice a little louder every now and again to like cause echo situations.
Okay. So as the evasion begins, as you attempt to cut your way even more so through the back streets and over fences, up fire escapes and kind of really lose your tail is in the best way possible. Sorry why the music stopped there. And right as you hop over a small garden wall into a backyard and cut around a building, Taylind, Taylind, as you're taking the lead, you've got this. You're kind of looking back, checking your party, and you turn the corner and immediately find a figure standing right in front of you. And as you come to a halt, there's a flash of steel, and a very small blade is held right up against your neck. You see long hair trailing down out of a hood. And as the figure, with one hand holding that towards you, pulls the head back, the hood back, and you see somebody you probably thought you would never come face to face with again.
A lot of people like that.
An old flame.
Oh Lord.
Well, that doesn't narrow it
Standing
down.
before you in the flesh, older, much more street worn, but you instantly recognize Sally Brown.
Sally Brown.
And she just looks at you.
Good grief.
Taylind, would you describe this fair lady in front of you?
You got long tresses of sort of auburn hair, kind of like brown with hints of red, a bit of strawberry in there. But I think at this point there might be a few streaks of gray that have matted themselves in there over the last few years of continued street life. Ratty cloak that has a very... It looks like it at one point would have been very nice, possibly something that a noble would have worn, but it has since had the passage of long nights and heavy rains that has deteriorated it down, although it is still a fairly ostentatious garment, even among those that you would see in the streets. And so it does still have a bit of a standing out. Brown eyes that are almost... the shine with the strength of oak, and hard face with lines creased from many long days out in the sun and wind weathered, and the salty air having taken its toll. General outfit is going to be leather armor, with sort of your typical sailor type attire beneath, possibly a shirt that was at one point white, but is very much more of a tan beige, worn through many years. And I think there would also possibly be a nose ring that is caused. She looks like she got it a long time ago, and it hasn't been well looked after. And it's kind of, there's a bit of a tear in the cartilage of the nose where it is, and it seems a little rusty in certain parts.
She doesn't move the blade, keeping it right by the small of your neck, just kind of like right up. And she just looks at you. You can see there's a hardness in her eyes. There always was an edge to her, but there's a real hardness now, a lethality, an uncompromising glare. She just stares you down. Oh, oh, you bastard. When the little one said that there was somebody on the streets who showed them signs that the average passerby ain't supposed to know. Well, word made its way up to me. I thought I'd see who this stranger was for myself, and imagine my surprise to see you not in fancy priory robes and all priestly like. I thought that's the life you'd chosen for yourself, but here you are, running through the streets with an interesting gang of followers with you.
Hello.
Can I say old habits die hard?
What are you doing here, Taylind? And if I'm not mistaken, last I heard there was rumor about you lying all up comatose like in the infirmary, so clearly that's not true.
The rumors of my untimely slumber seem to be a little on the false side, indeed. And I think because Tayland often blusters aloud, and he tends to have a much more refined way of speaking. Something that was brought, that kind of was like hammered into him at a young age, and as he speaks to Sally, the old kind of street talk starts to work its way back in again, and a lot of that sort of poshness, that putting on of airs slinks away.
Queen's English disappears.
The Queen's English disappears. Full Cockney comes back in. What is Sally?
Lovely day, innit?
Lovely day. Here up. Yeah, it's not quite that bad, but it is. There is a definite change in the way of speaking. Why? What can I say? I survived. It's like we all did. The priory life didn't really suit me, as it were. It was always a bit more of a easy meal. You always knew that.
You see, with the blade, she kind of just nudges the chain on your neck and like starts to pull out. Just barely kind of lifts up your amulet of Marantha and goes, "Why are you still wearing that then?"
I think you bloody well know why I've still got that on. And tell me you've completely forgotten everything about me.
Tried to. Unsuccessfully.
That's the thing, isn't it? I leave quite the imprint.
Aye.
Mind
you, I've spent many days dreaming about leaving an imprint of my own on you, Taylind Wavesinger.
Oh, I bet you have, yes. Well, how's about, look, I'd love to catch up on old times and all that, but I'm in a bit of a thing going on. You may have surmised based on what the rumors and all that. I'm not sure that I'm supposed to be knocking about, as it were. Things are getting a little bollocksed up, if you know what I mean.
Suppose that's why I keep them in the shadows then. Thought
Well-
perhaps maybe just old habits die hard.
Indeed.
Even for one who turned their back on all of us the way you did.
Look, you could have come with me. I offered it to you. You said no.
You know that life ain't for me. Besides, I've done pretty well for myself and risen up the ranks, as it were. Got my own crew.
Have you now? That's working your way up in the world. How's the old gang been?
Oh, most of them dead.
Uh-huh. That'll do it.
There was a real crackdown from Valerian Legion a number of years ago. Tried to clean the streets, so they called it. But
Oh, they did
thankfully
a
for
bang-up
them,
job.
yes, well, thankfully for us, they couldn't find all the hiding places. But that's all water under the bridge. She just
Right.
takes the knife away, kind of flicks it, puts it back in her
Aha.
pocket.
Yes, well, this here is this is Flick. And
Hello.
that there's Dinar and the biggin. Or well, he was
So for the record, when you
I
turn
saw
around,
that fancy.
when you
I
turn
saw
around
that
and point to
fancy bit of magic
Dinar,
he did there.
sorry. When you turn around and point to Dinar, Dinar is literally holding Torque the squirrel in his hand, and I imagine the little squirrel is like, I'm just getting ready to chuck him on the ground to take him out of polymorph. He's like, oh,
You can bring him back to normal size. I saw that fancy bit. It's pretty impressive.
okay.
And who's this then? Your new flame? She looks at Serena.
Oh yeah. As Serena, we family of a sort.
You mean found family or like family?
Little from column A, little from column B, really.
She's
Right.
his cousin, and she's a princess. You do the math.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, the green one likes to embellish things quite significantly. You remember that time I told you about when I caught that dogfish? It's a lot like that.
All right.
I'm currently a nice, lovely, peachy color. Thank you very much, Mr. Taylind, sir.
Oh, Taylind. Never thought I'd see you back here again.
Personally, neither did I.
Taylind, give me a dexterity saving throw. If you
Oh,
would.
boy.
Ooh.
I'm okay. I'm good. It's okay. I'm good at that. Well, not when I roll a 2.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a 10.
With the quickness and litheness that you remember painfully in the moment, she out of nowhere just full on slaps you right across the face. Just massive. You all hear just a whoop.
Right.
I imagine
Probably
Dinar
not deserve that one.
yeah.
Then she grabs you by the shirt, pulls you in, and plants one on you and pushes you back.
Yes. On the slap, Flick had tumbled behind, had the whip out, was ready. It was like, oh, one of those.
Pretty sure I deserve that one too, actually.
Need this for later.
I'm about to get into all your business, and ours ain't the sort of relationship to catch up on and tell old stories about. But
Right.
if you do feel like shooting a breeze, saying hello, maybe a little drink.
Oh yes, I have become a bit of a good shot, and I enjoy a good shot too.
Maybe a little drinking spot tomorrow night. You can bring your friends with you. I'll bring a few of mine.
Oh yeah.
And don't worry, for old time's sake, I've marked you hands off for the street kids.
Oh, wasn't that nice of you? I was
At least the
mainly
ones I
worried for
control.
I was mainly worried for them. You know, be a shame for them to learn the hard way that you got to be better at picking your marks.
Well, Some of them still have a lot to learn. We don't all come to it as easy as Taylind Wavesinger does.
I mean, look, things get a lot easier when you learn to read. That's all I'm saying.
I've learned a few words here and there, picked them up from various jobs and curiosity, but I do well enough. Look, come tomorrow night or don't. It's all's well. But don't seek me out. Don't follow. Don't try to find us. Or we can just as quickly turn that safe mark around. You know what happens to those labeled as traitors.
Oh, yes. Don't worry. My
Good.
memory is quite intact.
She kind of stands back. She looks at the rest of you. Seems like a good crew you got.
They're all right.
Guess we'll never know what could have been.
Well, it's more about moving forward with what you do know rather than worrying about the past, eh?
See you around, Tay.
She
She puts her cloak up. And without a care in the world, turns her back to you. Walks up the street up the alley a little bit, turns around a corner, and strides off into the night.
That's a bit of a blast from the past, that. Right,
Yeah.
right.
You're gonna need to do some talking.
Oh, I'm quite good at that. Don't worry.
The first thing that I noticed is that she mentioned your hands off of the street kids. She didn't mention herself in that little contract, though. Just pointing out, you might.
There's
Sally-
a big, there's a nasty red mark
Gigantic
right on the side of
glowing
Taylor's
red mark.
face.
Uh,
She seems to have left a mark on you after all.
she
Sally's
she
always
seems to
been-
like you.
She's always been very hands-on with anything that she had an interest in. Didn't like to leave things up to the dirty work of minions, as it were. Trust me, I know. We should probably not linger though, because I mean, not everyone is probably going to be as kind to us as she would be. She's one of the frenemies that I was referring to a while back when we were trying to use seaming. There are legit enemies though, so maybe we keep moving before one of them shows up now. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it was bound to happen sooner or later, gents. I mean, we're traveling back in my hometown. You know, some people gonna be hanging around.
You're right. It was gonna happen sooner or later. You getting slapped in the face. That was great.
There was a lot of years backed up in that slap.
And I wanted to do it a few times myself. Serena chimes in. She
Yeah, I'll
seems
bet you
nice,
have.
Taylind.
Oh yeah,
She's
she's a nice lady.
Any more ex-flames we need to worry about as we...
None that are likely
Make our
still
way.
alive.
I'm not sure how to take that, but all right.
Yeah, I'll let you decide that one. Right, we should keep moving.
Agreed. You need to get your hood up.
It was up.
Well,
But
well, darken your face better then.
Sally is she's got a keen eye.
I don't think it was his face she was looking at.
The boots.
Yes, it was the boots.
Boots.
The boots.
Boot. Yeah. You do notice, I'd say Taylind especially, that as you progress the rest of the way, the back alleys and side streets are noticeably quieter than they would
Mhm.
be. There is
Like the
definitely
opposite of-
a path for you.
Like the opposite of a parade, man. It's a little weird.
It's more that there's been a do not obstruct
Yeah, words
this
out.
area, and you seem to have a wide open path.
There
A
are
parting
perks to
gift.
being me.
All
Sometimes.
right.
Yes.
I mean, let's not pretend like Dinar's not, harboring a whole bunch of people who happen to know who he is and probably wouldn't be happy to see him.
I think everybody would be happy to see me. I ran into a
Okay.
couple of people on the way to and from the embassy that were very happy to see me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Don't worry. I got you back, buddy. They probably hit my guts back home. It's all good.
I feel like
I,
that's,
on the other
that's-
hand, have nobody who would recognize me, so we are safe there.
I feel like that's a sign of goblin endearment.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Isn't that how you like greet each other? Like, hey man, I hate your guts. I hate your guts too.
Hate you more.
I feel like if a goblin told me he hated my guts, I'd be like, oh, well, that's not so bad. But if he said that if he called me handsome, I'd be worried.
No. If a goblin calls you sweet, that's when you gotta watch
Yeah. And then they grin
out.
and they lick their lips.
Well, ain't you sweet? All right. So as you make your way back to the Last Post Lodge, and through the hidden door down into the safe house, there is somebody sitting on the couch who you do not expect to see out of his tower.
Oh,
It is it looks like Jorand, a little bit younger, sitting on the couch. But it doesn't move. Doesn't look at you. Seems empty.
Oh,
like a mannequin.
like a clone?
Like a clone.
Ah.
Currently empty and sitting. There is something odd about it, though, and as you get closer, you realize that perhaps it didn't work quite as well as Jorand was hoping, as the side of the face that is obscured as you walk in, you come, it's just like clay, just kind of like mashed and like drooping a little bit, like unformed. And part of the body, like the shoulder, is like slouched down. There's a weird odor coming off of it as well. Perhaps a failed attempt. But Jordan did mention that he
is
was
creepy.
looking more into this clone spell, and seems to be experimenting, and the result is sitting there for you.
That's a mite disconcerting.
Yeah.
Serena leans over. Do you think we should just like throw it down the stairs through his magical entrance into his tower?
Oh,
It'd be
we
kind of amusing, I think, wouldn't
we
it?
can't be so uncouth. You can't possibly be doing that unless until we poke it with a stick first.
Yeah, and draw a couple dicks on its forehead, like obviously.
Perhaps we could dress it up as. Let's find some strawberries.
There was one of these here last time we were here, or is this the same one?
So the last time there was Aldous Boone.
It was a different, empty, not quite right clone. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Why is it
So-
just sitting out here?
He continues his experience. Serena has that same question. She's like, "This is very. Perhaps we need to talk to Jorand."
I mean, this is the bottom of his waist chute, I guess. Kind of makes sense. Has to look at Serena.
I wouldn't mind leaving that to the morning myself, though. I'm gonna try and catch some sleep if I can.
I'm definitely heading in that direction too.
Out of sorts a bit.
Fresh as a daisy. All right, you guys get your sleep. I will take it first.
But does Flick even consider daisies to be fresh?
I've heard the turn of phrase, and they're delicious. So,
Fresh as an oyster.
Nom, 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 nom.
Sea snot. Doran. Dinar.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What's your plan?
I mean, I've got a 3rd level spell, so I might as well cast sending to Jorund.
You know, he's just down the stairs, right?
Hmm.
So in the safe house, remember that the stairs go down,
There's a
and then they're going
can
to
still-
the magical entrance into his tower, which he has transported
You can
down there.
still
So that would be a huge waste of a spell. But if you want to, it's kind of
Just
funny.
Be like,
It's
hey,
nighttime, though.
Hey, you up?
We're about to get a long rest.
How about friend, you up? Want to hang?
Yeah.
Dinar's gonna do it anyways because he doesn't know why this thing is just sitting in the common room. For all he knows, something's wrong. So, as everybody's going to sleep, Dinar will cast sending to Jorund. Hey, Jorund. We've seen your clone sitting on the couch. What's up with this thing? Do we need to dispose of it?
What's up with that?
What's the deal?
What's the deal? Yeah, let's do that.
Does punctuation go through, like just question marks and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If you're up the stairs, you could have come down for a conversation. That is a failed clone attempt. I'm curious about that issue you had. Perhaps
Yeah.
you wouldn't mind coming to...
Dinar thinks about sending another sending to him, but decides that's just mean. I've already wasted his spell energy once today, so Dinar will go down the stairs and knock on the door to talk to Jorund.
Yep. The stairs turn from wood cellar basement into alabaster. The marble pillars and walls self-lit. You come into the grand entry of Jorun's tower and find him sitting, or approximation of himself sitting on one of the couches, with some fresh strawberries in hand. Just,
Of course.
never get too tired of these things. Do not come. Very strange for you to waste magic so needlessly when you're right there.
Well, we saw that
Youth.
thing sitting there, and I wasn't sure if maybe that was a sign you were busy, so...
No, in truth, I forgot about it. Sitting on that couch there was bothering me, so I sent it to that one, meant to deal with it later, or tell you about it. I forgot about both. Especially when you asked me to scry on you because you needed help, and then I scried on you and you're standing in the rain, telling me that everything is all right. Are you sure everything is all right? And would you like some strawberries? They're fresh, sort of.
Sure, strawberries would be great.
Excellent.
Fresh as the
Hovers
strawberry.
up and just comes floating over to you. He indicates for you to have a seat.
Yeah, Dinar will have a seat.
Cool. On the
Um,
couch beside you, you notice there's a couple little droplets of clay, white clay.
Okay. Yes, I can understand that sitting with a failed clone of yourself may be quite disturbing, so I understand why you did what you did.
Not the strangest thing that I've seen, but perhaps up there, yes.
Unsettling, at least, I'm sure, yeah. With regards to my request, we were in a situation where information getting out could have spared us, let's say, some combat or some bloodshed. We were able to resolve that before it came to blows, and I was now no longer requiring your assistance. It all happened very fast, so I wasn't able to stand back and call you off.
I'm going to roll an insight check on you. You see him just staring at you, unblinking. Strawberry in his hand. He just kind of looks at you. Just... All right. Well, do me a favor next time before I use my scry and tell me that the situation has resolved itself beforehand. Just because I'm very old, arch wizard with lots of magic, doesn't mean I like to waste it, if not need it. And as you get older, perhaps you will come to appreciate that and not waste sending spells from 20 feet away from somebody. Use it when you must, of course, but don't be so hasty to just fling your spells around carelessly. But
I feel like as Dinar is sitting here, he's got a little Taylind on one shoulder, saying, "Don't you dare tell that old man, that old stupid wizard, what we saw." And on the other side, I don't know if it's a little flick or if it's a little torque or what, that's saying, "You've screwed over this poor old man. He's helped us so much. Just tell him what happened."
curious.
Yeah, because long pause. Jorand is a very powerful friend.
Little Taylind start offering you drinks from a flask if you listen to him. Oh man, you know it's the right thing to do. Go back to bed, have a drink, get some rest.
I think as a means of trying to perhaps initiate peace in what has become a tense situation, on Dinar's perception at least, one thing that we have learned is a means to which we can actually kill Triskades.
I say. That's very useful knowledge.
Very. Basically, what we need to do is channel more divine power, more of the weave, into Triskades. Powering him up, yes. But if we deliver enough, he will pop. His greed for power means that he will just keep taking it.
Like putting too much air in a balloon.
I don't know if balloons exist in this world.
Adding too much of a component to an elixir, it only asks for a small amount. Too much and poof.
Precisely.
I understand the concept. If memory serves me, he was attempting to devour the divine spark of Disfuna, which is why she made herself to reside in Torque. So if there's a way of letting him have, I don't know if giving him divine sparks and turning him into a god is the best idea, but something along those lines, or that would be of the same sort of nature. It's true that not anyone can simply just contain all that power. There have been many throughout the ages who've been foolish enough, conceited enough to think that they could be gods, and gone through ascension rituals or various means of trying to obtain that power. Most of them died in the process because it's not just about having that power, it's about handling it. It's deadly. They're called gods for a reason. This is very curious, and perhaps could work, but how, by the gods, would you go about doing such a thing? It's not like we could bottle it all up in a fancy little bottle and call it strawberry juice and say, here you go, just ladies, have a drink. It's delicious, I promise you. And then boom. Exploding strawberry juice, huh? There's a thought, actually.
Yeah, the
I'm
how.
sorry.
The how of it we don't exactly understand just yet, but the delivery.
I shall ponder this. Reach out to some associates. Don't worry, I'll keep it vague. But if such a thing is possible, there must be a way. Somebody must have an idea how to do it. We have to find him. Very well. I will think on this. I will devote a good amount of resources and time to this conundrum. Now that you have at least an approach, a possibility, it's better than none.
It's more than we had before.
Excellent. All right. You may leave. I have thinking to do. You have thinking to do as well, sleeping. Remember what I said about wasting your magic? A careless wizard throws spells about willy-nilly when it is unnecessary. Just because you can light a fire with your power doesn't mean that you always should or that you need to.
I understand.
Fire. Exploding strawberry juice. I think there's possibly a use for that.
Gives a snap and his apparition self disappears from the couch.
Dinar will get up, grab a few more strawberries, and head back upstairs.
As you cross the threshold from the tower back into the safe house, the strawberries vanish from your hand.
Like if Flick is doing the first watch, he'll hear an audible "Aw" from down the stairs.
That's perfect. Oh, man.
Oh man.
Dang it, Bobby.
All right. You will catch some much needed rest. Fill your spell slots and
All the-
Hooray!
all the whatnots.
My whatnots.
Did we have enough time when we got back that Dinar could have spent some time working on the mage sight spell?
Yep.
How many hours
Oh yeah,
could I add to that?
it was just after dinner, so you've got depends on what time you want to go to sleep. You can go to midnight and still get up at 8 a.m. Have full rest because this is fantasy.
May I spend 3 hours on it?
If you so desire.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
still have so many more to go, but that's now 5 of the 14 required.
Progress is progress.
Progress is progress.
Okay. The morning comes with a slight chill to it as we begin to move into the later days of summer. The mornings become cooler. The sky is still overcast, but the rain has at least let up. But there's still that dampness that even in the safe house you can kind of smell permeating in from outside. There's a strong hint of petrichor, that after storm smell, seeping through the ground, bringing up that fresh, earthy smell, combining with the smell of ozone in the air. And of course, mixed in with it, the brine and salt off of the Bay of Galadrin. This morning brings you back, Taylind, to many mornings. Some good, some bad.
Most bad.
But all of them with that hint of just that otherworldly presence by the sea, the reminder of the reason why the Temple of Wave Song is called the Wave Song, as you hear the waves on the distant shore, even coming through, carrying on the wind, there is a bit of a musical note to it all. Mother Nature herself singing the morning into being. You all wake and find Torque already awake, sitting in quiet. He has Whelming Wrath out, laid across his lap. He seems to be in some sort of deep meditation. Completely focused on whatever it is he's doing.
Like gonna like wave a hand in front of his eyes. Oh, he's way gone.
Oh,
I'd say us sane folk go get some breakfast, and maybe little guy will be done staring into the great beyond by the time we're back.
I could go for some Irish coffee.
Taylind, would you like me to...
What's Irish?
It's coffee that was invented by John Irishman.
Oh.
Taylind, would you like me to change your appearance?
Yes, please.
Anybody
Now,
else?
Again, remembering, do you remember the description I gave you last time? Because, basically we're going to do that again, but I was thinking, I kind of want to change the nose a little bit. And I was thinking maybe put like a scar on the eyebrow. Like I still want to look like my face tells a story, but not an interesting story. Like I was caught in a weird fishing accident instead of, I got into a battle with a Kuo-toa or something. And I was thinking maybe some flecks of gray, little wisps of white in the eyebrows, kind of like what I've got going on right here. And, a little bit under a little bit of a beard. And maybe you could make like one of the teeth like a little crooked. And I was thinking maybe try a heterochromia in the eyes. That might be kind of nice. And then with the outfit, I was thinking more of an accent of like white, like a salty white to kind of go with the more earthy, oceanisk kind of thing that we were going for before. And I was thinking a high collared cape, but one that's kind of been weathered by the rain, so it's not quite so ostentatious.
So, as you're describing this, Dinar has wrapped up his spell sash in his arm, and he's pulled out a little bit of chalk, and he's writing this description on his sash. When you're finished, very good. Okay. Anybody else want me to change their appearance?
Well, I was thinking maybe you could do him up maybe more tramp clown rather than fruit clown this time. That'd be awesome.
Okay. Like,
But
you're
otherwise,
good?
yeah,
You're good?
yeah, halfling with hair.
Halfling with hair.
Yeah, huh?
Okay.
Take care of myself if needed.
Especially on his feet.
Thank you, Serena. All right. Well, let me get to it then. Dinar will start casting the spell, and like all of his other illusion enlarged spells, he starts to whisk his hands together, and little illusions of each of us pops up. Yeah. I'll cast it on all three of us. Flick will be a halfling with hair, but like a cool looking halfling. Dinar will be similar, but he'll be more of an innocuous, kind of dull red dragonborn. And if Taylind is paying attention...
Dullard, what?
Yeah, if Taylind is paying attention, Dinar tries to do it as fast as possible. He will be a human. He will have the details of a human. He will not look like the hobo with the giant nose that Dinar made him last time. However, because Taylind gave such an intricate display or intricate description of what he wants to look like, Dinar is going to think back to the marketplace the day before and try to remember the most average, dull-looking market keeper that he could see. And that's what Taylind is going to become. Minus 2 inches, by the way, so he's going to be 2 inches shorter. And then
John Salesman.
John Salesman, exactly.
Yeah.
Dinar will cast a spell. We will all change.
How do I look, Flick?
You look perfect, buddy.
Yeah.
Clap him.
Taylind, give me a perception check.
Alrighty.
It's like looking in a mirror.
34.
Oh my.
I'm very...
Um,
I rolled real high.
Serena tries and fails to hide a grin and a
I know. It's something else, isn't it? It's amazing what my imagination can come up with when I have full reign on my own appearance.
you catch the gist of her laughter as
Yeah, oh yeah.
mocking.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
try to save face here.
Yeah. It's like all right.
Dinar will look over at Flick. Apparently that slap in the face wasn't enough for him yesterday, so...
It's a warm-up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's see who can go and slap you today, hey, buddy?
I mean, I generally try to avoid getting slapped.
And yet,
I had a pretty good streak going for a while.
I will grant you that, but I'm itching to see who else you can piss off in town.
It's more who I already have.
Let's reopen some old wounds, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Before we get Taylind further slapped, whoever, and figure out what you want to do with the day, let us take a break, and we will be back shortly. So stay tuned for what's in store.
And welcome back. I hope you had a good break. It was enjoyable. And if you fast forward this because you're watching a VOD, then I still hope that your couple second break was enjoyable. Nonetheless.
And we'll talk slower. So your 1.5 speed playback sounds a little funny.
Or talk really fast and then it just sounds even funnier than you just. So, as the morning dawns, we have some decisions ahead of you. Serena poses the question. Taylind, I know that you wanted to take care of the whole clone business at the infirmary, and I understand that's pressing. So if that's
I
what's on
mean,
tap,
it's
there's. I was just going to mention though there is still the contact that I have, the artificer. That's not as pressing though. Just putting it out there that just let me know when we want to take care of that, and I'll handle that. If you're going to the infirmary, I might set that one out. I have some contemplating to do. That whole issue last night with that creature, it's making me question a lot of things about. I'm going to be blunt with you about the future of my order. Look, I know I haven't told you a lot, and there's a reason for that. We guard secrets closely. That's part of what we do. It's also because there's truthfully not many of us left. In fact, I am one of less than a dozen. We used to be in the hundreds. The prospect of having all that we've guarded for so long just given or stolen or used by that creature, it's brought a lot of things to mind that I think, at least I, perhaps my mother and the rest of us who remain, things we need to address. So if you wanted to see the artificer, I'll come along for that. But otherwise, if you have other business, I'm going to remain here for a bit and take care of some of that business. So just let me know what your plans are.
I mean, for me, it was always more of a getting around the city is going to be a lot easier if we actually kind of know what might be going on with me. But as I've said before, I'm not particularly, juicing to get in there and deal with it. But I will say my curiosity is getting pretty piqued.
I'll make one note. Iklo gave me that spell, Mage Sight. I believe the intention was to use that on your other self. I am not prepared to do that yet. I still need a few more days at least. So maybe the Artificer is a good objective for today.
Whatever you decide.
I think it makes sense to figure out what's going on in the infirmary because that is more directly correlating to our ability to make full use of this city.
Fair. Yeah.
Besides, I want to take Flick to all the best places near the in the docks. Assuming they haven't closed down or burned down, there were some right good hole in the walls.
Sounds like home to me, buddy. Let's do it. Yeah, the sooner we get the two U's situation sorted, the better. And we'll give the princess some time to do her thinking or whatever. So,
Before we leave the inn, Dinar will take his sending stone and put it in front of Torque.
Okay.
Give him a slap on the shoulder. Let us know when you're done.
No response.
I assumed as much.
He is breathing. He's just
Yeah.
he's in the zone. We got it.
Yep.
He's in the torque zone. All right. If I'm not here when you get back, I do have some. There's only a few of us left, but we do still have our contacts, affiliates, those that we've worked with, and have some people around the city that I might pay a visit to. So if I'm not here when you return, I will be back. Taylind,
Yes.
I hope you figure this out. I really do.
Can't be that hard to figure out. It's just me. And I'm as plain as any old pamphlet.
I mean, at the moment, that's definitely for sure. All right. I'll catch up with you, gentlemen, later then.
Sounds good.
We know how to reach you.
Don't hurt yourself thinking too hard.
Too late for that warning.
No. They didn't try.
All right. So the three of you are going to head to the infirmary then.
Yes.
Taylind, your cousin, she reminds me of my Auntie Blister.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. She's one of those people who always seems so busy, right? Got a million things on the go, can't help you with anything. Never actually got anything done. She's like, oh, I'd love to help you with that thing type, but, she just spinning her wheels a lot and not really accomplishing anything. Yet, when she needed your help, you better drop whatever you're doing and help her with whatever crap she's got up on the go. Infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. Just saying, may not like her very much. Carrying on. Let's walk to your thing.
Tell me how you really feel.
Like, is secretly in love with her. Anyway.
Yes, that's the big reveal at the end.
Yeah. And she's actually a goblin. What? So was Taylind.
That's the real secret. We're all goblins.
We were all goblins all along. All right. What's the plan here? Infirmary and then extraneous, or extraneous and then infirmary?
I think the plan is just going to be to, with the seeming spell active, we don't have to worry too much about skulking our way through the city. So I think it's just a matter of moseying on over there. Act all casual like.
All right. In that case, you all make your way over to the Wavesong Temple.
Put him in a longboat till he's sober. Put him in a longboat till he's sober. That's right. All I know is this basic jingle. I don't know any other songs because I'm a normal guy.
Is that how we sober you up? Interesting.
John Normal Guy is my name.
um, as you all make your way through the city, move past the palace onto the Pantheon District Island. Dinar, as you come close to the Temple of Verithan again, give me a religion check.
Oh, it's my first roll of the night. I think I'm trained in that. I am not. +4 though. It's a 12, so 16.
16, okay. You feel the slightest, almost like a tug or pull on you in that direction. Very faint. You know your destination, the Wavesong Temple, as you pass by and you see the rising Temple of Verithan on the right, dragon's head sculpture up on the high point of it. There's just that moment where your feet kind of want to turn in that direction of the temple involuntarily. There's just like but you kind of stop, and after just a briefest second, it's gone. Kind of shake your head. It's a new feeling for you.
Indeed.
The other two of you, I'd say, with your perception, I'm texting you this. You do notice that you're walking. Dinar kind of like stops and goes in that direction, and then turns back.
Dinar's just gonna play it off like nothing's happened. Just keep walking.
Okay.
That's the way to do it.
You cross onto the islands of the Abbey, not the Wavesong Temple proper, but where the priory, the school, the Abbey, the gardens are, the barracks, all of the outskirt buildings. Taylind, in a very real and figurative sense, you have come home. And as familiar as the city is, this is intimately familiar. This is recent, more recent history. Sights, sounds, smells all come flooding back in. How does Taylind process all of this?
Quick, nippy, sweetie. But mostly, I think it's really the smell that does it. You know, it's not so much the visual. You know, it's a place that he's always seen, but it often replays in his mind's eye. But you know, memories are not typically when you remember a place, you know, where you grew up, or you know the home you used to live in, or a park you used to go to. You don't often remember what it smelled like. You usually just remember what it looked like and maybe a little bit of what it felt like. But it isn't until you actually go there again and you get that same scent that everything just clicks in your head and it all rushes back in. And so I think he's a little unprepared for he goes in. He's like, oh yeah, there's there's the stained glass over there. There's the wall there. And then it kind of just all hits him all at once, and he just kind of staggers a little bit, and for approximately 6 seconds, he's a young boy again, with all the insecurities and all the fears, and then the sound of kind of Flick walking behind him and Dinar's the shining of light on Dinar's scales kind of brings him back. He just kind of uprights himself. Yeah, yeah. It's just how I remember it.
It's hard going back to places we love.
Yeah, yeah. Here.
Places we
Cheers.
grew up in.
All right. Let's go find me.
You're waiting to find yourself.
Coming back to the place where it all started to find myself.
That's right.
I know what Torque's doing back at the hideout too. So
Mm-hmm. Crossing over the large drawbridge, and you see the autumnal trees that are always in perpetual reds and yellows and golds, and around them is earth, pure earth, topsoil as black as midnight, perpetually fresh. You can smell that rich earthy aroma coming up off of them. The air seems to move in unnatural currents, bringing with it the sounds of the ocean and that song again, kind of playing in the air. Water in the fountains, impossibly fresh and pure, ever bubbling. All the different elements, all representing Marantha, the goddess of nature in all her different forms. But here in the Wavesong Temple, where water is most prominent, you see those themes everywhere in the architecture, in the cobblestones of sort of the outer courtyard here. There's reliefs of waves, and all of it just has this at once a natural majesty, and the architecture itself seems almost more shaped and formed rather than constructed, almost giving off the appearance that the goddess herself carved and formed this entire structure out of the raw elements that she sees over. There's a peacefulness, a feeling of serenity. And Taylind, as you cross that bridge and you cross through that outer courtyard and come to the ramp leading up to the main entrance, memory after memory after memory just flooding through. And you hear a little bit of a whisper, not a voice, but you haven't really felt the presence of Marantha this closely in a long time. But it's unmistakable again as you come back into her holiest of holy places. She's real. She's present. She's all around you. Whatever that means for you, but it's undeniable here. And even the other two of you, you sense a divinity here. You sense the overwhelming power of a motherly majesty that just takes your breath away. This is holy ground. This is sanctuary, and you feel that running through you. come up to the gates. And Taylind, you know that the main central chamber of the temple is open to all. Day or night, visitors are welcome to walk through its halls. At the far end, you see almost formed, carved out of water, made solid form, the grand statue of Marantha. Long, fish-like mermaid tail. It's a mermaid, but it's not. There's more to it than that. And even as the elegance of water runs through this statue, you can still see the ruggedness of various crystals representing earth. You can see the colors of every leaf and every flower and every plant
downstairs bathroom all weekend.
in existence. You see the oak and maple and birch trees somehow woven in as well. And you can see the patterns of air, clouds, again, all of nature encompassed in this single statue, but water playing that main prominence. You can see the different signs leading off to, the clergy rooms. There's sign for the chapel. There's sign for the libraries, and you find the sign for the infirmary and for the healing ward. There are guards, temple guards, standing at the entrance to this wing. And as you approach, they just simply wait and look, kind of step forward. One of them, very rugged looking individual, not the kind you would expect in serving the temple necessarily, but then again, Taylind, you found yourself in here. And he steps forward. You have business in the infirmary. Who are you here to see?
So, my understanding is that this is where, like, people who are, like, people get sent here. Like, you wouldn't report here if you're feeling sick. You would, like...
Correct.
Right. So then, knowing what I know about how this works, do I think that if I were to, like, we would just flat out say, like, we are here for, to see Taylind, that's probably not a good idea, because then we're gonna have to explain who we are and how we know him or whatever. So, I presume they're expecting us to give them a name and like who we're here to see, and would we be expecting them to question how we know the person or something like that, or is it more of a...
I think you would depend on who it is. Like if it's, you could be a patient. You do also know, like Diane said that she would get you in. So Diane is around somewhere. You probably know some names of various priests, priestesses, clerics that you could try.
Yeah, wow.
Say that you're there to meet them.
We could try once, and then at that point,
yeah.
Oh wait, sorry. I meant Dana. Oh no, sorry. I meant Darlene. No, sorry. Sharon.
Slap each time.
Sharon. Yeah.
It's the slaps.
You said you love me. No.
I think as much as it's gonna be. Yeah, I guess the question is, do we want to see if we can get in ourselves, or do we want to just be let in? There's pretty much no way to sneak past these guys, right? Like there's only one way in and out of the infirmary. I imagine you would design it that way.
Yeah. That there is an outside entrance that leads to sort of a private garden and balcony, like for patients, kind of an open air area on the other side. But that's, you can't get to it from the ground or from inside. Like it's not an entrance in. So this is the only way in on this side. And then the other doors lead out to
so
is this overlooking.
Is this like the guards know every single name of every person in there, or is it more of a they have a rough idea and it's really more of a like they're guarding, but like if I we put on a good enough show and there's someone who would match who we're talking about in there, then they might let us in.
Give me an
Or is this
insight check.
or is this only for like temple people?
Uh, so you know that it's not just people in the temple that would come in here. Like, and it's open. Like, they use it as basically the hospital for the city. So anybody from the city in dire enough need or warrants or whatever would find themselves under the care of the infirmary, whether that's here or not. But
Right.
it's,
Okay.
this is the hospital essentially.
So if we basically were just like, my sister, I heard my sister was here, and we came as soon as we heard. You've got to let me see her, and we put on a good enough thing, then they might let us in, but
You can give me an insight check to see.
Okay.
You can like maybe even try to read the guards and
'Cause
see,
my
how.
my main hesitation is like we do all of that pomp and circumstance, it doesn't really work, and then we like come back with the head priestess, like, hey man, can you let us in? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's that's a 9.
Ooh.
You're you're pretty off your game by all the recollections, all the memories kind of coming back,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah, for sure.
you're having a hard time reading these guards and the confidence in your ability to pull one over on them. You're not sure. You're really not sure. Usually, you get an idea like, yeah, I could probably convince this person, but
Then I think I will
hard to say.
look them in the eyes. I'll say, pardon, we were hoping to speak with the head priestess. Would you be able to direct us where we might go to perhaps seek an audience?
The head priestess for the infirmary. What is your business?
We were asked, I guess I'm going to spin a yarn here. We were asked to investigate a strange ailment of one of the patients. It's a little bit of a hush-hush operation, but we were brought in specifically by the priestess to investigate and use our own knowledge on seeing if we could determine something.
So you're not lying.
That's right, I'm not.
So give me a persuasion check then, because it's not quite a deception.
All right. That's a 12.
Oof.
That's okay. He rolled a 7.
Hey.
You kind of look at each other and looks at you. He's like, oh, remember that Taylind business, the one that's all.
Yeah. Shh.
Right,
We don't want to spread panic.
yeah, come on in. We'll take you there to. I think Diane is in there right now with Yariel. You recognize the name Yariel as another priestess.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're both in there right now. I think. Please follow. The one guard
Thank
stays at the entrance and there leads you in.
Sure.
You spent your time in and out of the infirmary growing up in the temple. So the sight isn't necessarily a surprise to you. For Dinar and Fleck, what might you have been? What were your characters be thinking when you hear, sort of infirmary, guiling in a coma? What would they be expecting this place to be?
Flick only knew the sick room back of the mining camps. So a single dirty cot in the back room, no windows, no fresh air, maybe some dirty bandages, basically a place to take someone to go and die.
Hmm.
What about Dinar?
I think Dinar, having spent so much time in the Navy, he's used to seeing war hospitals.
Mhm.
Well, sailors that have been wounded mortally, had their lives altered entirely by what's happened to them. So he's used to seeing an infirmary as more of a grotesque kind of, this is the bad side of war kind of room.
Right. Both of you are shocked and surprised in a pleasant way then as you walk through the main arches that split, leading to two separate entrances, and you pass through into a grand hall, earth and sandstone covered in vines and flowering trees. There are birds even flying up above. Huge glass atrium ceiling, just the light pouring in. There's a river of water streaming down the middle, fresh flowing water. You can hear the trickle of the stream. There's fresh plants growing out of it. Huge statues, sort of angelic, clerical in nature, and what you would expect to smell, that sort of sickly, over clean, or the flip side of it, that smell of rot and decay, are completely absent, and all you can smell is just freshness as you walk in. There are beds lining the stream down the middle, each very well built, fresh sheets, fresh linens. There are a few patients in them. It's not full. Just 3 or 4 of them kind of in the first area that you walk through. You cross over sort of a middle area that's got a symbol emblazoned on the floor, sort of the traditional symbol for apothecaries, medicinary, healing magic. All of that seems to be kind of entwined together. You walk past the gaze of these 2 motherly statues, kind of looking down over all the sick. And you do find Diane and Yariel. Yariel being an elvish woman, hard to tell her age, but the fact that you can see even just a few wrinkles on her face gives you the idea that she is quite old, but still looking young, as elves do. And Diane looks up to see you approaching. Oh, hey. I'm glad you guys are here. I was wondering when we might see you. It's come on, come see Taylind. She looks.
Yes.
She's looking at you like she knows it's you, but she like it's not. So she's like, okay.
Weird, isn't it?
You guys did this before, so she's
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, John Salesman, let us go see this Taylind.
Of course, Harry Proudfoot.
Welcome to the infirmary.
Very peaceful.
As you approach the bed, laying perfectly still in just white small clothes, like underclothes, sheet kind of just below chest height, Taylind, you look down at you, or you as you looked the night you left.
Can't be me. My nose isn't that big.
It's a spitting image.
Yeah,
Dinar and Fleck, you're taken back a bit. Like you're looking at it's Taylind. Taylind is laying in the bed in front of you.
Oh, he looks nothing like me. Look, he's got big bags under his eyes. He's got scraggly eyebrows. He's got a chiseled jaw, really wiry muscles, an incredibly handsome countenance, the perfect ridge line. Oh, he's a spitting image.
So as you're saying this,
he's not talking though. So maybe it ain't you.
That is an important distinction.
So Taylind, as you're saying this, Yariel's eyes go wide. And you realize that She didn't know who you were coming in here.
Well, there was no way we were going to be able to keep that
No.
under wraps.
But she kind of looks at you and then looks at Diane. This is...
How's it going?
But
Yep.
now
Thus-
I
Right.
understand
Cool.
what Diane was talking about when she
Oh,
said
I'm happy we're all caught up to speed.
that
Now
things
that
were complicated.
we're all on the same level. Boy, that's creepy. Now that we're at the same level, can we? What's the deal here? Like, Flick, do you want to check him for a pulse?
Absolutely, buddy. Step aside, let the master through. All right. I will grab a hold of his ankle and check for a pulse.
Give me a medicine check.
Traditional spot that the strongest goblin blood flow is the
course.
ankle.
There you go.
There's a 7.
Do not feel the
Oh.
pulse.
Discovered by the great goblin medical scientists Achilles.
I got bad news for you, buddy.
Actually,
Yeah, Achilles.
I don't think he's going to make it.
Okay, maybe maybe one of the two medical practitioners.
Diane steps in. You're not going to find a pulse. That's the weird part. That, I mean, it's there. We were able to find it with magical means to determine that the blood is still flowing. Not strong enough for it to be a pulse, though. It's so faint. His heart beats maybe once a minute.
I'm gonna just kind of lean over and cough, and in between coughs, just gonna message spell Dinar. Is this similar to the weird malformed one we saw back on the couch?
Does it look like the one? Does it appear like
It's-
Joran's feathers?
So, whereas Joran's attempt at a clone looked like an empty shell of him and incomplete, this looks like Taylind.
Hmm.
Like, if you didn't see Taylind, didn't know he was standing beside you, you walked into a room and this body
Okay.
was laying in front of you, that's Taylind.
All right, then I will start by activating my true sight.
Oh, good call.
Okay.
And just see if there's anything on Taylind or in this room that is perhaps not as it seems.
Well, you can see me
Okay.
as I truly look now.
So go ahead and roll one of your chaos dice for that.
Oh, that was almost a 1. I rolled a 4.
Okay, so nothing happens there. So you start by looking at Taylind or looking around you?
Looking at Taylind,
Okay.
yeah.
On the bed?
Ye-
The clone.
It's an important distinction. Yes, I will look at the Taylind that is on the bed.
Okay. With your true sight, you can see barely perceptible, even for you. There is almost like a fine filament covering his body, see through. But you can just detect that there's almost like a stasis field or something that is just above the level of skin. And you see it because there's that illusory magical element to it where it's just barely there. Like perfectly pulled saran wrap where you can see through it, it's clear. But if you look at it at the right angle, you can just tell that there's something there.
What does that mean?
I think Dinar will walk up beside Diane
Mm-hmm.
And not whisper, but quietly say, do you have anybody in this infirmary that has the ability to use true sight?
Not not in the infirmary, but we have had individuals come in. I assume you're talking about the covering.
So you've seen
Around
it.
him.
You've seen it too.
I haven't seen it, but it has been seen. We have no idea what it is. We can't figure out. You can touch him. You can touch his skin. You can doesn't. It's not stopping you from interacting with the body, but it's there. We're at a complete loss as to what it is, though. I haven't seen it. I don't have the ability, but
Almost seems like it's keeping him dormant. It's not affecting anybody else. It's just affecting him. I'm assuming then, since this is a known trait, that somebody has tried to dispel it.
yes.
Very unsuccessful, I'm assuming.
I mean, it's still there, right? You can see it. I mean, it's weird, right? Like it's magical, but not like it doesn't give off that same essence. You try to detect magic, you won't show up. It's we don't like mysteries, and I mean, well, obviously this whole thing is a mystery. It's part of it.
I have a bit of an odd question.
Just I will mention, so as you are looking in that direction, Taylind, you see in the fountain
Oh,
what appears to be a elemental form, just playing in the water, splashing around, snake-like. Then it's like has hair like a young girl's hair, and then it looks like a fish. It's just dancing around in the water. You look around, you look down the hall, and you see a couple other of them splashing through the water, playing about.
not hostile, obviously,
Doesn't appear to be.
or currently.
Is that normal?
If he mentions them, you would know about the guardians,
Okay.
the spirit guardians of the infirmary. So they are meant to be there. They're
Okay.
the unseen. There's the seen protection in the guards, and then there's also the unseen watchers, servants, basically servants of Marantha, water embodied, so they have the whole run of the place right through the water. They can kind of go
Okay.
back and forth.
So if okay, so I would know that they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Dinar will note them. Yeah. Strange question for you, Diane.
Yeah, sure.
Have you tried? You said that you can touch Taylon's body. You can move him. You can, lift up his arms and all of that.
she walks over and goes, like pokes him. And you can see his chest move. It's like,
Have you tried taking samples? Have you tried, quote unquote, injuring him? Have you slapped him across the face?
Got a few volunteers who can do that for you.
this is a place of healing.
Yeah.
We don't slap our unconscious patients.
If,
Have
Don't-
we
don't-
taken
don't mind them. They're just obsessed with slapping me.
have we taken blood from him? Yes, we have. Through medical means, not through injuring. Do you know anything about medicine? I'm never mind.
Mike knows a lot about medicine, just
But
not
yes,
this
the
type
body
of
has
medicine.
the body has blood. The body breathes. The body has flesh, but it's just there. It's just dormant, unchanging, day in, day out.
Hmm.
We've had a long time to think and try.
Yeah, they're professionals.
That's all I got.
Yariel just kind of sits on the bed. She's still just kind of looking at you, Taylind, and looking at the body like, okay.
Now, I really don't want to touch that. But I doubt there's anything we're gonna find different than what they haven't already tried.
Oh, I guarantee I've got one thing they have not tried.
Yes.
Is the leech?
No. I was gonna see minor illusion. Can it make
Oop, got your nose. Hey, give that back.
No, cannot make. Okay, I need. Taylind. I borrow your flask for just a second here, buddy.
What flask?
Yes,
I don't
exactly.
know what you
I
mean.
will grab. I'll grab one. One of the three that I know is around your person at all times,
Taylind, I know you have it. Okay, we've already. Don't worry. Just
and then boonk, and then I'll just sort of wave it under his nose.
so the first question is going to be for Taylind. Your generous use of alcohol, was that pre or post leaving?
It was more so post.
Okay.
It wasn't easy to get in the temple.
Mhm.
It wasn't much of a thing. I'd say there probably were Taylind definitely snuck out of the temple every now and again. Had some good times at some. Yeah, I know, right? Big shock, big reveal.
Yeah.
Wow.
And in doing so, definitely went down to a pub with one of his one of his buddies, who may or may not still be around. But he wouldn't have. It wouldn't have been like a common thing, but it definitely would have been something he took comfort in during some of the more difficult nights.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think it would have been as much as like afterwards, but it still would have been kind of burgeoning, we'll say.
Okay. All right. The clone doesn't react at all.
All right, I ain't him. Toss you the flashback. Obviously, this is an inferior copy, and that's the real one hidden behind. I mean, that
That's what I've been
is John
saying.
Merchant, upstanding citizen, no relation.
I thought his name was John Salesman.
Well, we're in
Depends
the
who's
afternoon
asking.
now, so anywho, I think my work here is done.
Well, unless Dinar has some kind of incredible high intelligence plan that hasn't been tried by these professionals, I think there's really only one thing we can do that definitely hasn't been tried.
I've got one other idea, but it's probably not going to change anything.
I mean,
Well,
at this
I mean-
point, we're whatever.
I was gonna say you might as well try it. Like,
I agree with Taylind.
what's it gonna hurt?
All right.
Well, could hurt you.
I've had worse.
Taylind, Think back to when
Yes.
you were this guy. What was the
Okay.
most offensive, ugly, horrifying, embarrassing creature you could think of? Would be like if you saw one, you would both feel bad and want to kick it away from you.
William Taylor.
I'm not saying a person, a creature.
Oh. Uh, a banshee?
Banshee. I was thinking something less monster.
Please
Monster?
don't tell me
Oh,
you're going
okay.
to summon a banshee in. That's not going to happen.
I am not going to do that.
All right.
Good.
So are you talking something more like an inanimate object?
No. How would you feel? Forget it. Dinar is going to
Like a spider? Like what?
Dinar is going to pull out his caterpillar cocoon and he's going to cast polymorph on the unconscious Taylind in front of him, and he's going to turn him into a worm.
Okay. Your spell fails.
Interesting. There's many reasons that could be happening.
Many reasons. Probably
But
got
that's something though.
probably got something to
That
do
is
with
new
this.
information.
Exactly.
Yariel from behind says, "We can't cast spells on it. You can't change its form. You can't. We've tried."
Dinar is remembering his conversation with Jordan the night before. Yeah, I guess I should have asked.
That's
Taylind-
usually a good idea to do.
Taylind, that was my last stupid idea. What do you got?
What happens if I cast message on the clone?
Ooh. Oh, that's great.
You want to?
I'll give it a shot. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
Knock, knock, knock. Hello, anyone home?
I'll reach into my pocket and pull out a conch, listen to the ocean for a little bit, and then speak into it. Oh, is this thing on?
No response.
Okay. But do I get the feeling that my spell failed again, or was it more of a there's just no response?
In this case, there's no response.
Okay. Interesting. What was that?
All right, Taylind, I got one last stupid idea.
Okay, I'm just gonna check something real quick. You go ahead.
Maybe Flick wants to help me out with this one.
Absolutely, Skipper. What you got, buddy?
Sometimes, when we were out on the seas, somebody would get hit real hard, it would knock them out. One of the things the captain used to tell me to do was a little bit of lightning sometimes jumpstarts them.
Okay, well, hold on now.
Do you know how to do shocking grasp, Flick?
I'm afraid that is not in my repertoire.
Dang.
Okay, so let's be clear here. When I was this guy, I had like 9 hit points.
I can only do 1d8. I could get you within this much of your life.
Okay, yeah.
It's 2d8.
I was gonna say
3d8
actually, yeah,
at
we're
this point.
3d8 at this level. That's true.
Yeah,
Dinar, give me an Arcana or a Medicine check.
Gee, I wonder which one he's gonna pick.
The one I'm trained or the one I'm not? I will
You'll
obviously.
different results, but
I'm gonna choose Arcana because
Okay.
it's a +9. My medicine is +1. Wow, I rolled a 1. So a total of 10, but I rolled a 1.
okay, 10's enough. Your basic understanding of what you were called to do, what the captain was getting you to do, is if there was an irregular heartbeat, or the heart was failing. This is a steady heartbeat, just very, very slow.
Hmm.
So this isn't necessarily a person going in defib.
Oh.
This is that they're
Am I
more like a
am I-
meditative state.
Taylind, I'm actually a little disappointed that you didn't come up with this one yourself. However, scooch up to the head of the bed. Gonna lean in real close to the copy's ear. Just go. What do you do with the drunken sailor? What do you do? See if I can get any sort of response from this guy.
Then you gotta end it with
Early in the morning.
then you gotta go early and
How dare you?
do the call. Yeah, call and response. Right. Do the call.
Mhm.
You do that, nothing happens.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
This guy's officially dead. This is yeah, no. It might be breathing, it might be heart beating, but there's no you in there.
Come, all you young sailors, and listen to me.
Oh, Florida matter.
You heard him. Blow the man down. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that there's only one thing we could try that the temple, with all of its resources and desire to fix me, has not tried, and that's to have me touch me. In order to
PG,
say,
PG. Yes.
Come in and give him a big old hug.
Wiggle its toes a little bit.
I really don't want to do this because I have no idea what's gonna. It could be nothing. Could be nothing. Could also be a lot. Could have a weird vision.
You could de-level down to level 2.
I mean, yeah.
Start playing the new guy, the old new guy.
Yeah, we're just gonna revert the campaign back to reset to level 1. Yeah.
All right. I think it's gonna like kind of look.
So you touch it? It's a classic DM question.
All right. Flick. If you see anything weird happen, do something about it.
I am
Preferably-
man of action.
Preferably that does not involve damage to my person.
Man of less action, but I'll see what I can do.
And Dinar,
Yeah,
still got that true sight on?
I can put it back on.
Okay, you might want that because you might want to see what happens. I don't know.
Good call.
Out of body experience. Yeah, we're
Yeah, you know, it just in case this thing takes over as me and claims that it is me, you'll be like, wait, no, I saw things.
no, but Torque's not here to get possessed, so that can't happen.
Too true. I will recast True Sight because it only lasts a
Okay.
minute. Roll the 6.
All right. Pull yourself a Chaos Harnessed.
Chaos Harnessed. You gain resistance to all damage until the end of your next turn.
So, or basically for the next minute.
Sharp punch. Sure.
So when the clone explodes, it won't hurt you. Don't worry.
There you go. All right. Oh. All right. Hush now, hush, love. Here's your gown, there's the bed, lanterns down. I'm begging you, please wake me up in all my dreams. I shall touch the body upon the bed. I can touch you.
First, nothing happens.
first.
You kind of look up. And as you're about to raise your hands and speak, you all watch as Taylon's like, it just drops, passes right out unconscious,
No,
lands on the floor.
no.
But the question is, does Flick catch me? Because he is a man of action.
That's a non-damaging thing.
Now the clone
So-
does not awake or sit up. Both are now.
Now there's two of them. Jeez, Louise.
Did I see anything happen with my true sight when he touched the clone?
You did not.
Hmm.
Taylon,
Aye.
your vision goes dark. All sound fades away. You hear, after a moment, sound of wind, but not that gentle sea breeze of the waves on Temple, more of a hollow, cold wind. The kind of wind that crosses a barren plain.
Hmm.
You feel something solid beneath your feet. Your senses come to you. There's a chill in the air around you, but you don't feel cold. It doesn't impact you, but you're aware of it. As your eyes adjust to the strange twilight blue, you find yourself standing in a void gate.
Oh.
Is this now this seems familiar to me?
It is not the same one from your original dream.
Okay.
It is one you have not been to before. You can't see anything beyond the arches around it. Standing across from you is you.
All right. I'll immediately do the cartoon thing of like raising a hand and moving to see if it matches me.
Just looks back at you. It's probably what I would do too.
It is what you're doing.
Well, not this me. I'm glad you came back. Well, there's no exact right time, but before wasn't the right time. That much is sure. You're actually here. Which
I mean,
means you're actually there. With
I'm
me.
here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. Question is, where are you?
Well, how about a trip down memory lane?
That has been the theme of the day.
The last thing I remember from the waking world before finding myself in this endless parade of gate after gate after gate. I was at home, sitting by the fire, feet up, enjoying warm cider. Mrs. had gone upstairs already. I felt a strange pull knew enough of magic to know that something arcane was at work, but it didn't have a familiar signature. It was something alien, different. The next thing I know, I'm being pulled apart, split, put back together. And for the briefest of moments, I find myself barely clothed, standing in a hallway that I don't recognize. Temple, something. And I could have sworn that I saw me at the end of the hallway. I'm guessing that was you.
That would line up with what I've been told.
I tried to catch my bearings. Just as I tried to figure out what was going on, I passed out. I've been here ever since. Every now and then, I close my eyes, try to sleep. I say try because I can't. I don't seem to need to. So it becomes more of a meditative practice. And do you know what I see?
The infinite folly of man.
There's a lot of that to go around. I see you. Or rather, I see what you see. And so I slowly begin to piece together parts of this, at least. I'm not ready to tell you everything because even though you're supposed to be me, I don't trust you. And I'm sure you don't trust me. And I'm sure you have a lot of questions as well. Let me answer one for you. I am Taylind, Wave Singer. You are Taylind, Wave Singer.
Actually, I think you'll find I'm Lord Taylind Wavesinger.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
It's exactly what an imposter would say.
Yes, well, where I put my feet up before all of this transpired, sitting in front of the fire, was in my manor home, my Duke's manor home. In my world, I am Duke Taylind Wavesinger.
Ooh.
We have a crossing of worlds, realms. I'm not really sure the terminology, but from everything that I've put together, the best I can figure is that you are me from one world, I am you from another. And somehow my body ended up in your world. And I'm guessing that we're not supposed to exist in the same place, at the same time. And me as the visitor, for lack of a better term, your reality wasn't quite sure what to do with me. And now I'm stuck in this place, this world between worlds. I've come to learn to control it a little bit, to figure out how to manipulate some of these signs and symbols that we see all around these. And I've seen through your eyes and heard through your ears that these are void gates. It's part of what helps me to understand how to control them. Would you like to see what I found, Taylind?
Well, since you seem to have the home advantage.
Here, at least, yes.
I'll never say this to his face, but boy, I wish Dinar was here right now.
Come along then, shall we?
Oh, I'm sure you've had a long time to develop this presentation. I may as well be courteous and allow you the gift of being able to present it.
I'm so generous, aren't I?
White. By the way, it's Lord Taylind Wavesinger Shadowbane.
Fail.
See, there's where you're wrong. See, I saw through your eyes. You think very highly of yourself. I mean, I do too. I'm not going to deny that. You could do it with a dose of humility, Taylind Wavesinger of Eudora. You're all Shadowbane. That's all of you. Perhaps me as well, but that's all of you. Because you fight the shadow.
I'm included in that, though, so it's still true.
Semantics, I suppose. But anyway, our journey awaits. I have a lot to show you. And I would really like to get out of this nightmare realm, and I think you can help me. I think we can help each other.
Right. Above table,
Ready?
I am keeping a very close eye on this guy.
Of course.
Taylin's immediately like, that's right, one of us is going to have to leave back through the body, and when the time comes, it's going to be freaking me. So in Taylin's mind, what's going on right now is like, this is like some kind of weird metaphysical, like mental duel. And he's like, whoever's going to, when the time comes, someone's going to have to leave this place, and he's going to make sure that he's the one who does. And so
Awesome.
if all else possible, he's also going to try and keep this guy monologuing as he kind of like tries to get his bearings a little bit.
Sounds good.
And then he's going to sit there and close his eyes, cross his fingers, and say, Dinar, use sending. Oh, by all the gods above, use sending.
Taylind, you watch as other Taylind manipulates a couple of runes around this central pool. And looking around now, you do see that this void gate appears to be just like the others, the ones that you visited. And it feels very physical. This isn't some ethereal, place. That this is a physical reality that you are in of some sort. And as the different runes light up and begin to turn and activate, you feel, for lack of better sense, you feel reality around you twist and pull. And you begin your journey with you. But we're going to have to wait to find out where that journey goes, as that is where we will end tonight's episode and find out what's in store for Taylind Wavesinger and Taylind Wavesinger. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that, and we will catch you next time. The next time that we are together will be with some Legacy of the Lost Empire. So, see you then. Good night, folks. Take it easy.
Yeah.